Oh my gosh, I just can't do this anymore. My teammates just keep throwing my ranked games and I don't know, man, I just can't do this anymore. I'll never hit Immortal. Ranked is basically a big stupid slot machine. Whoa, calm down there, little Timmy. I get it. Ranked can be really frustrating. Sometimes you get people who just disconnect out of nowhere. Sometimes you get brain dead duelists who just throw each round like it's their mission to steal all your elo. Or maybe something happens to you. Maybe your dog jumps on your lap and destroys your monitor or something. I don't know. But the funny thing about our brains is that they're programmed to remember these bad memories and try to block out the good that happens in our ranked games. Not only do our brains lock out the good, but they also tend to immediately blame others or things outside of their control. For example, maybe you're playing on Breeze as Viper. You're spraying through your smoke and you get instantly beamed through the smoke and you die. Unlucky, right? Nothing else you could have done that round? Well, if you look back at it, maybe you shouldn't have bought that Vandal if you planned on spraying through your smokes that round. My main point is that maybe it isn't always things outside of your control stopping you from hitting these higher ranks. And maybe, just maybe, it's yourself. So today on SkillCapped, I figured to go over 4 solid things that are holding you back from reaching that top 1%. Now, the number one thing in improving at this game, in any game, or anything in life, as a matter of fact, is having a strong mental. Without it, you might as well just forget the rest of this video. Everything you learned, everything you practiced for, and just throw it in the trash. I've played in Radiant lobbies, I'm Immortal 3, I've played with pros, and the nicest thing about playing with these high-level players is that nobody cares. No one cares that you're having a bad game. No one cares that you whiffed. The only thing people care about is if you're doing your job and communicating with the team. The reason why no one cares is because they all understand and they know that everybody got to that rank for a certain reason. It is extremely hard to hit Radiant, and in order to do it, you almost have to play perfectly yourself and play enough games to get there. So everyone in these lobbies recognizes that everyone in them should be. Something about greatness recognizes greatness or something. I don't know, Michael Jordan quote. I'm not too sure. But not only that, Radiants don't complain when they're down in rounds. They just shut up and focus on the round that they're on. Something that I noticed on a lot of lower elos is that someone will make one small mistake, costing their team the round, and then everyone blows up on each other, when in reality, Ultimate Smoke simply had a crack in it, or Raze missed her nade. The moment you blow up on your teammates and destroy your chemistry is when you've lost the game. You can't look at it as you're down 1-6. You need to look at it as you need to win 12 more rounds. Try and completely blur out the enemy's team score and just focus on your own. I promise you'll win a lot more games like this. And this works both ways. If you're up 10-2, don't start throwing rounds. This is literally how comebacks are made. And then once the enemy team starts coming back, you and your teammates start getting nervous, and then you guys lose your composure, you start fighting. Do you know how many times I've seen comebacks happen because the winning team gets too comfortable? Just stomp them out and just keep focusing on your own team score and getting that to 13. And these are lessons from Radiance that every rank needs to learn. No, you're not hard stuck gold because of your teammates. And yes, you're probably still there for a reason. The game isn't over because you lost 3 rounds in a row, and you're going to lose if you cry in your chair about how you can't hit a shot today. And yes, you too can carry yourself out of any rank. Think about it. How come people are able to carry themselves out of bronze, silver, gold, plat, whatever rank, to whatever rank they want without even breaking a sweat? So if you take anything away from this video, let it be that mental, just like anything else in life, is the #1 factor when it comes to hitting Immortal. So I know you guys all want to be Immortal or Radiant, just like your favorite streamers, and if you want to get there, it's going to take a lot of hard work. And if you want to get there quick, you're going to want some help getting there. Well, we at SkillCapped have things like Radiant Smurf commentaries, where literal Radiant Smurf games at any rank and explain their thought processes, reasoning, decision making, and so much more. So if you want to hit these high ranks, wouldn't it be a good idea to hear advice from the best of the best? We also have online courses covering a variety of topics, from agent-specific guides, to mechanics, to utility usage, and everything in between. And these courses are all created by Radiant level players, top 500 in the nation. So if you want solid advice from some of the best Valorant has to offer, I highly suggest you check out the website. If you're looking for the fastest way to climb in Valorant, be sure to check out SkillCapped.com, link in the description below. Alright, next, something I want to talk about is how each map should be played, understanding that, and using that to your advantage. For example, on Split, the map was literally built for mid control in mind. Think about it. Once you take mid control, defenders are split in half and have to choose between what they want to hold. A really popular way to hold mid control is with Sage's wall. Obviously, this takes a lot of bullets to break, and while it's still up, defenders never have to worry about mid, and they can quickly rotate to whichever site they need. The problem is, what I see in a lot of ranks is that the Sage wall is never taken down, or they never take mid control, making it hard to take either A or B. Split itself is already a CT-sided map, and by not focusing some form of attention on mid, then you're really going to have a problem. And this goes for both sides. I've seen countless players just spam the Sage wall in mid and just pray for some reason that it won't be instantly shot down. I don't get it. People spend 400 credits every round just to put down a wall that's getting destroyed instantly. Why not use something else to hold that vital part of the map, like a smoke? And then when the enemies try to push the smoke, you can molly them out, and then they have to sit there and wait it out. And maybe you could use that sage wall for the retake or something else, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is that not a lot of people really know how to play each map. And when they do, they just sort of copy what everybody else does without really seeing the reason behind it. It's like a big monkey see, monkey do type of thing. I've heard people literally fight over not picking Sage on Split in the agent select menu because they're just so afraid of not having that big wall. But if you want to be an Immortal level player, you need to recognize when you need to adapt and how to adapt to certain situations. And there's certain meta ways that you should be playing each map to ensure that you're getting the most value. For example, on Icebox, on attack, you want to scale up A site using your utility like Reyna Blinds or a Sova drone. And on B, you want to protect the planter however you can when they plant alongside that default box. On defense, you usually want to try and molly that spot to stall the plant and buy time for rotates. And on A, you want to try and push up and find early kills and force the enemy team to use more utility, as A site is pretty hard to hold. It's a lot harder to play retake because there's a lot of angles you have to worry about, so that's why people push up for kills on that map. Ascent and Haven are very default heavy maps, focusing on mid control or control of the extremities, and maps like Bind and Breeze are very execute heavy. What I'm saying is that by knowing how you should be playing each map, it allows you to play each round more efficiently, knowing what your goals are for each round. And by knowing these, this gives you an edge on your opponent who just sort of do whatever they feel like is right. Knowing how to play each map, knowing which agents are most suited for them, and how to use the utility on them is something that will definitely help you hit Immortal. Now next, similar to map knowledge, I highly suggest that if you're trying to make the leap to these high ranks, that you focus solely on one or two main agents, plus smokes. The thing is in ranked is that almost everybody can play Duelist. Maybe not well, but it's the most commonly locked agent. Knowing how to play overpowered agents like Sova is going to help you rank up a lot faster, I promise. Because if someone does lock your Reyna or Jet, you need to know how to play something else that's important to the team. And no, this doesn't mean that you need to know every lineup or the most efficient everything, but it's important that you at least understand how the agent functions and what their abilities are supposed to be for. This leads me to our next point, which is that if you're above silver, I never want to hear you say that you don't know how to play smokes. Being able to play some form of controller is a big skill to have when trying to rank up. And it doesn't make sense to me that some people, even in Immortal, I've heard this, people tell me that they don't know how to play smokes. I mean, it might just be an excuse, like not to play them, but it's still something that you should definitely know how to do. Smokes are quite literally the make or break of any team, and without a half-decent controller, your games are going to be a lot harder to win. Just think about it. You want to put something in certain spots so the enemy can't see you. And if you want to learn specific agents, there are a ton of content creators out there for each and every agent. For example, Average Jonas can show you a ton of useful lineups for Sova, Flights can show you how to play Raze, I can go on, but with a little bit of research, I promise that you can find someone for every agent. I mean, or if you're lazy like me and don't want to find the creators for every agent, we do have agent-specific courses in our website all in one place. But, you know, I don't know, what do I know? Lastly, arguably the most important thing that you want to be doing if you're trying to rank up is that you want to be VOD reviewing yourself. I've met so many people who just grind endless amounts of ranked games without ever getting better, and they always sit and complain that they're hard stuck whatever rank they are. What they never realize are the mistakes they're making every game. Like, just think about it. Somebody who plays 100 games of Valorant just mindlessly playing the game versus somebody who plays 50 games of Valorant but actually thinking about what they're doing is actually going to make that person that much better than the first person, if that makes sense. It's sort of like school. Studying for 8 hours a day can be good, but studying for 4 hours a day efficiently is even better. So maybe they're taking a bad peek, or their utility isn't just being used the right way. The thing is that they'll never realize what they're doing without watching back some of their own gameplay. Or they might, but it'll take a lot longer to realize it than simply watching back a VOD. If you ask any pro player, I promise you that they'll tell you the same thing. They've watched countless hours of their own gameplay, and it's simply a staple if you want to keep improving. And if you want a decent program to record your own gameplay, I highly recommend Outplayed. And no, this isn't a sponsor for one of them, but it's what I use to record my own gameplay. Granted, VOD reviewing isn't the most fun thing in the world, but it's really important if you want to improve. If you want to make it more fun, you could even have some of your friends go over some of the gameplay with you. This can be a decent amount of fun, and not only that, but they could also spout out things in your gameplay that you yourself might have noticed as well. You guys can work together to build each other up and become better players together. Sort of like a big study group. And as a quick bonus fifth tip, having a good duo partner is going to go a long way. No, this doesn't mean that you should find somebody to boost you, but rather it's good to have a consistent duo partner that you play with regularly. This way you guys can rely on at least one other person to play alongside you, and like I said previously, you guys can build each other up when trying to become better players. Also, it's nice not having to rely on a random teammate. Having a duo lessens the odds for you to have some random thrower on your team, and they're instead someone you can rely on and trust to rank up together. So, if you want to become Radiant, Immortal 3, Diamond, Plat, whatever rank you want to hit, check out our other guides and we can help you round out your gameplay, rank up faster, and maybe even one day, when you can click heads fast enough, you could join that top 1% of Valorant. Also, like I mentioned before, if you want a chance at having your VOD reviewed, be sure to subscribe on our website at SkillCapped.com. Again, we also have Radiant Smurf commentaries where we have little Radiant level players walking through exactly how they're playing their games, why they're doing them, and wouldn't it make sense to have the best of the best coach you through games so you can like copy them? It's just super helpful to see in real time what goes through a top tier player's head. As you mentioned before, it's also backed by a rank improvement guarantee, and the reason we do that is because we are just that confident that our service works. And if it doesn't work, then you shouldn't pay. So what are you waiting for? You got nothing to lose. Head on over to SkillCapped.com and get started on your way to that rank that you deserve. So yeah, hopefully you guys have a little bit better insight on how you too can hit Immortal. It isn't easy, and it's probably going to take you a lot longer than you think. It takes a lot of games to play, and there's a lot of times where you might get frustrated, discouraged, or downright just not have any fun anymore. But with enough effort, anybody can do it, I promise. If you study the game enough, work on yourself, and find yourself a good duo partner, you'll get there before you know it. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. And that's all for us. I'm Teets, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.